Hi, this is New American Now, and I'm joined here by Mrs. New American Now. We operate a radio show on Blog Talk Radio at 9 p.m. Eastern Time every Saturday. We were just talking about how so many of the prepper videos and shows talk about when the economic collapse happens. All you have to do is raise rabbits. You have meat, and you have fur and hides and tattan, and you can put seeds in the ground and farm. But apparently, that's an oversimplification of the challenges that face people trying to survive and prepare in these circumstances. So, the missus, I'd like to ask you, what is an oversimplification of such an issue? What is the problem with telling people to do that?
The problem with that is there's a learning curve that is going to need to be experienced. There's the health of the animal, the living conditions of the animals, what you're going to feed this animal, what you're going to treat this animal with, should it get sick. So there's a big learning curve there. And not to say that it's impossible, it's not, but just that you have to have that experience along with the knowledge that you're consuming online in books. You need to have that experience. It's not just turning on a light switch when the economic collapse happens and be able to go, boom, I can plant my garden, now I have rabbits. Well, now that collapse happened, what are you going to feed that rabbit? How are you going to water your garden? Maybe you have, water that's pumped in, and that pump's going to be dry. How are you going to do that?
So what do you suggest that people do? Are you saying that they shouldn't do all these things, or what?
No, I'm saying they need to practice now. Even if they're in the city, they need to start growing plants so they can see how much water a plant needs so that they don't overwater or underwater. Make sure it gets the right amount of sunlight. If the plants start changing colors, they need to know what that means, what nutrition they need to have to give to that plant. So these are all things that have to be experienced.
So if I, take a rabbit out of a box, I go to the, I get my rabbit, because here's the economic collapse, and I get my rabbit out, and now I need 2 rabbits. I think I know that much, right?
I was going to say, I hope you have 2.
So you put the 2 rabbits in a cage, and
make sure they're one male, one female.
Oh, yeah, well, that would help, right?
Sexing is very important.
And so being able to know the difference between a boy and a girl rabbit, right, is kind of important.
And they're not that easy to check.
And
they kick quite a bit.
And so you put them in a cage, and they have babies, right? Is that as easy as it is?
You would hope that it would be that easy, but what if they end up eating their young because the female rabbit's too young, or she's not happy with her current conditions? They're going to eat their young,
right?
And you're not going to have any food to eat.
Or if they get sick, if
they get a blockage in their intestine tract, how do you identify that?
Right.
How do you treat that?
So basically, it's not as easy as pulling it out of anything out of a box, or getting them together and then having a whole mess full of rabbits and being surrounded by rabbits that you're clubbing to bring food into the table, right?
No. Well, think about that. You're going to have to wait 6 months before you can harvest that rabbit. So what are you going to do for that first 6 months?
Well, how about my garden? I have my garden. I put my seeds in, and I water them, and there it is, and I turn around, and the next day I have like tomatoes and lettuce and all those kind of things. It's not
Wouldn't
as easy.
Be nice?
It's not as easy as that.
No. Well, again, it depends on your living environment. Do you need to fence in your garden? Are you going to have wild animals eating your garden at night?
Or neighbors.
Right, or neighbors. How are you going to water this garden?
Or, forget about all that. Forget about, will it even get to the point where anything can eat it?
That's true. Is it in a shady spot when they need full sun?
Or do you have fertilizer? Can I throw rabbit poo on it?
If it's 6 months old, you can.
Oh, you mean I can't take the poo right out of the rabbit and just throw it right on my vegetables and be a fertilizer?
It will kill your plants if you do that.
I see.
So it has to cure.
So our advice then to people who are prepping for the things that the challenges that are ahead.
Yes.
We suggest that you can't just think only about and conceptualize these arrangements. You actually have to put things into practice, and practice it is, because there are challenges ahead that you won't be able to foresee until you actually get in there and start doing things, and then learning from that. This is the time to learn from your mistakes, because when your vegetables don't produce, you can still get to the store. While after a significant societal breakdown, there will be no store to resupply, and your very survival will be at stake.
Yes.
If you make that mistake then. It's an important thought to have, and
it's an important experience to have.
That this is the time to make those mistakes. Do not wait too long before you learn how to do things, before you get used to doing things, before you make a mistake and learn from that.
Life.
So check out our show on Saturday, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and there'll be more of this going on. Anyway, have a wonderful week. We'll see you later.